How's it going, everyone? My name is Dylan Walker with Yahoo Esports. I'm here with Dunktrain from Cloud9, and we're going to talk about some of the more funky talent choices in Heroes of the Storm. So, you're a support.
Yeah.
Main, right?
You've been only at tournaments.
Okay.
In Hero League, I play only
In Hero League,
Nova.
you play everything. Only Nova.
Only Nova.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me hate you.
Good.
Anyway, so let's start with Malfurion.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Twilight Dream, otherwise known as Silence Mouth?
Secret OP.
Okay.
Like, I really love that ability, and it's one of the few support ults that's like really game-changing. It's just people kind of expect Trank, and they play like you have it even if you don't. So it's hard to run in Hero League, but if you're playing with your friends, definitely experiment with it. It's really good.
We're going to see it in Korea, so what you're trying to tell me? You're not going to say that they're going to rule it out. You're actually not going to say anything.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. All right. So let's get into some of the other roles here. Let's talk about Kerrigan. Maybe summon Ultralisk.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
It's interesting. It actually has a really powerful effect on the game in that it makes it really frustrating for one person on the enemy team to play because they just have to run away from an Ultralisk for like an hour. But I don't think it's quite good enough just because in competitive it doesn't really get done what you need it to get done.
Because most pro players know to focus it down and...
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like basically a big Zagara summon.
Okay.
And it's just a little too easy to deal with relative to like the cooldown, and what your Kerrigan needs to be doing is like winning the game instantly in fights.
Yeah.
And Ultralisk is more like a long fight tool, so it just doesn't go so well with a kit.
That makes sense. So let's talk about Vala. Call traps, good or bad? Bad? All right, let's talk about Play Again Vikings.
OP.
Okay. Taste for Blood on Azmodan.
Dope city.
Okay. All right, so Indigestion on Stitches, which is the Wretchling build.
It's situational.
Okay. So what about Bone Spear on Zool?
Sucks.
Bad? You like Mortal Strike?
Yeah, it's
20?
okay, but like I don't know why people are picking it over the Mortal Strike talent.
I agree with that. So what about Slaughterhouse, the Butcher ult? You can chain 5 people.
Unbelievably cool.
But really hard to pull off, right?
Yeah, super hard to pull off, but you're basically a god.
Okay. What if you combo it with Silence Mouth, maybe?
Well, I mean, now you're just getting crazy.
Okay. I guess there's not a lot of synergy with that now that they think about it, but...
Well, the PTR Butcher Lamb ult actually silences. So
wow. The level 20 PTR Butcher ult?
Yeah.
That's intense.
Super intense.
Have you tried it in scrims yet?
Not in scrims, but I did play a game on stream and with Trixler and get like a 4-man level 20 Butcher ult.
Did you feel like a god when that happened?
Yeah. Just Craigasm everywhere.
Okay. So let's do a little bonus question here. Back in the day, in the beta, there was a talent called Resurgence of the Storm. Can you briefly describe for me what this talent used to do?
This talent basically used to ruin Heroes of the Storm, and now it's not there, so that's a good time. What it was is essentially on all of your tank characters in the game, basically, the level 20 option, instead of Hardened Shield, before that existed, Resurgence, just revived your hero in 5 seconds. So instead of actually losing fights when your tanks died, you would win them because your tank would come back to life, and the target you killed would be dead.
Wow. And that was for every tank in the game, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Sergeant Hammer.
And Uther.
And Uther.
We actually ran 5 Resurgence at the first BlizzCon exhibition tournament. It didn't work out because we played bad, but it doesn't mean the ability wasn't broken.
Yeah. Dude, old Uther used to be totally broken.
Yeah, so old Uther actually used to be able to cast all of his abilities in Ghost form. So
including his heroic.
Yes. So you would just die first as Uther and then press sprint and run in and Divine Storm all the enemy team because Divine Storm was also bigger then. And since you can't interact with Ghost Uther, he just did whatever he wanted.
So just revenge from the grave.
Yeah. Uther die first is actually a legitimate team fight strategy.
Uther go and die.
Okay.
And then we can kill him.
If they use any abilities to kill Uther, we won. Nice.
Oh my god. All right, so let's talk one more. Let's talk about Li Ming. Let's talk about a couple more.
Yeah.
Li Ming, Archon Pure Power, level 20 that lets you turn her into Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. It's just not that good, I think. the temporal improvement and the wave of force improvement are just so good for their respective ultimates that it's hard to justify taking Archon, even though it's like super sweet on a like.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
visually,
it looks awesome.
Visually amazing.
Yeah.
So what about fall stats? Wind tunnel level 20.
Yeah.
Good. I see it a lot overseas. A lot of the Korean, Chinese teams run
it's really, really insane. Like, it's a super powerful effect. It's just... I mean, it competes with one of the best level 20 talents in the game.
Which
in
is
Epic Mount.
Yeah.
So, Epic Mount is amazing. Wind Tunnel is amazing. It's just kind of whether you want that cheesy, haha, Wind Tunnel due to death, or if you want to actually try and out-strategy your opponents with rotations.
Okay. Well, Dunk, I want to thank you for talking to me about some of your unique talent choices. And for more C9 talent videos, check out Yahoo Esports.